So I was like, okay, if he responds to this text within the next 5 minutes, then it'll be a sign that we should hang out.
Welcome to Scrubs and Soy Sauce with Kevin and Miki. Today I'm back, my highly anticipated return to this podcast.
After 1 week of his absence. Life update, Kevin is back in residency, so every episode from now on will be a particular gift every time Kevin shows up, right?
Exactly, but I still have to set everything up, so...
That's not true. I did recently learn how to actually set up the podcast, and then I broke one of the cords, apparently.
Yes, then I had to take a backup cord from... remind me to purchase another cord, like two backups.
Anyways, today we are doing a fun episode. This is early dating stories. Many of you by now know the story of how we met, but this is actually, we've never talked about our early dating stories before
First
online.
few dates. Mm-hmm. First few dates.
So we're going to talk about some of those experiences, why we ended up deciding...
You rasped her. Let's keep that in there. Should we keep that in there? Anyways, they don't want us to talk about our early dating stories, clearly. It's somebody sending us a message.
That was a sign from God that nobody cares. Nobody.
Or it's like a string. It's like chords. It's like teardrops on my guitar.
A lot of you witnessed on YouTube the kind of early vlogs where we piloted Kevin.
Piloted?
Yeah, we tried out his presence on the channel and saw if y'all liked him and what y'all thought of him.
What did you present me as?
And we were like dating, but we were not going out. Because we were dating, but like we weren't sure if we were going to end up together 100%.
What's the difference between dating and going out? I feel like dating is more serious than
dating
going
is
out.
Like you're dating around. Like you could be dating like 10 people. Like going on dates is dating. And then going out is like you're like actually going out like in a relationship. We were seeing each other very seriously, but like we just didn't know what the future was going to hold. So, but we'll get into all of that. But you guys kind of watched those early phases of Kevin being introduced to the channel and like Mickey us deciding to move together to Seattle after knowing each other for like just a bit of time.
You want to talk about our second date in the Bay?
So quick recap for those who don't remember. The first day we ever met was when I brought my best friend and we met him in SF, and it was very awkward and we almost never saw each other again. The second day we saw each other was when I felt bad canceling, so I still let Kevin come to my house, and that's when we kind of like we're actually able to talk to each other without a third person there. We got along really well, and I let you stay that night because
on the couch or on the whatever the mattress that you bought.
I bought an extra mattress like in anticipation of your arrival, but you slept on your own mattress. I slept in my room. Let's talk about the third day that we met each other, okay?
Yeah, so this was like maybe a week, like 3 or 4 days later, and we both drove. I had something to do in the South Bay. I had like a conference there, and Mickey decided to get some cosmetic like facial thing.
Yes, it was the first time. That day was the first time I had ever gotten Botox.
That's why if you look at the early videos there, her eyebrows are like...
Yes, but I did get Botox that first day, and the Botox I was getting happened to be in the Bay Area, so...
You didn't let me go in with you. Remember, you made me wait in the car.
Wait, we had 2 cars,
yeah,
so
we
where did
went
we
to your
leave the car?
house. We parked my car there. That's why at the end, that's why we said goodbye.
We went to my old house. This is like my childhood home essentially, and then we parked the car there, and then the two of us took a car. Did you drive or did I drive? I think I drove.
I think I drove your car. I remember sitting in the driver's seat. Yes.
So we went to go get Botox. I made Kevin wait outside, and the Botox we did it like quite a lot.
I agree.
It was like 40 something units, and it was all my eyebrows, forehead, etc. I can't believe I made you wait in the car.
You were too shy.
No, I felt comfortable enough to just like leave you waiting in the car, clearly. After that, we didn't really have that much to do, and Kevin's friend...
He works at one of the tech companies down there.
Yes.
And you know about the tech company tours. You know, they have good food, and then you get to meet one of my best friends and hang out.
I would say you have like 3 best friends, and I would say he is one of your 3 best friends.
Yeah.
and they went to college together. He works for a massive tech company, and tech company perks, they have like all this free stuff, free food. And so Kevin's like, okay, why don't we go visit him?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down. So this was so random that we just like randomly, like we showed up to the campus and then we hung out with him and then we got like free tech lunch. It was very good.
Yeah. We went to like 3 different cafeterias, and between the cafeterias, we had to take a little, remember the bicycle? Little bikes. You were like, I don't even know how to ride a bicycle. That was like,
it had been years since I had
was
ridden
like
a bicycle.
minus a little bit there. I was like,
minus?
What? You don't know how to ride a bicycle?
Do you know how many minus points you got on that day? Don't even try to pin this on me.
From the shoes?
Well, Kevin was coming from a medical conference. That's what you were doing earlier in the day. And so you were in like biz cash attire where he was wearing a dress shirt, but then like jeans and
it was like
shoes.
A research conference. It's like a casual thing, you know?
Yeah, but it was just not the vibe. Like he wore the same dad shoes again that were such.
You should have given me feedback that I shouldn't wear those shoes.
We weren't close enough for me to give you feedback yet. But I remember like when I first saw you, it was a hot day and you had like pit stains.
Because I had a presentation and it was very nerve-wracking.
But you just had like 2 massive pit stains, and I mean, I'll be honest, I thought it was a little bit funny, but I also felt really bad for you. I was like, oh my God, I'd be so embarrassed. You're not embarrassed by it?
I don't know how I feel about that.
You declined to comment.
I declined to comment.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we hang out with your friend. I think we had a pretty good time, would you say? Mm-hmm. And then, so after we hung out with this friend, we went back to my childhood home.
No, we went to like, what's that store? There's the grocery store, and in the back, there's like this restaurant. I forget what kind of food it is. Can maybe
Mitsuya?
Mitsuya, but behind Mitsuya, there's this like...
Tomi Sushi?
It wasn't sushi. It was like maybe Korean food.
We got food again?
Dinner.
Oh, Kong Tofu?
Yeah, yes.
I took you to Kong Tofu?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, that's one of my favorite places.
It's like behind the Uncle Tet's, like in the back. Uh-huh. Right in the back left corner.
No, that's Beard Papa's.
Beard Papa, yes.
Not you, Kev.
I don't know.
It's amazing that I even know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying, right?
I took him to my favorite Korean spot. I think I had taken every boyfriend there before.
I think you mentioned that when we went there.
Really?
Yes.
I was setting you up for success by bringing you there.
Thank you.
So then we had dinner. Did you pay for that dinner? I feel like you might have.
You're welcome.
That was nice. Yeah, Kevin did pay.
I paid for lunch too.
You mean the free lunch from the tech company?
Yes.
Oh my God. And then we ended up going to my childhood home.
Because it was on sale?
Yeah, we were selling it. Like we had all moved out of it, and so we were selling.
Remember your mom had a camera in the house?
Yes.
And she was like, "You're telling me to hide?"
Yeah, my mom had like a security camera in there, and I asked my mom if I could turn off the camera because it's awkward. I was like, I don't want them watching me with you.
Did you tell them I was there with you?
Yeah.
You said that you were oh yes, it was kind of awkward. You were like on the phone with her.
Yeah.
And then you had a Swiffer and you were like swiffing one of the living rooms because your mom told you to.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. Anyways, the house is staged, so there's still like a couch in there. So we end up just sitting on the couch, like hanging out. And we chatted for a bit. But the vibes were like...
Plus minus.
Yeah, plus minus. I would say it was
some parts that was nice, and then some part was just really awkward.
Not even that. It was just like okay.
It felt like high school for some reason.
Yeah, it wasn't like the second date I was like, oh, I really like you. And then the third date I was like,
my gosh.
I don't know. Do you want to tell them what happened after the date?
What do you mean? We said goodbye and Miki didn't want to kiss me.
Yes. No, but what the funny thing is that you tried to kiss me like multiple attempts. I know in America, like, it's pretty standard to kiss on the first date or, like, a peck on the cheek or whatever, but, like, I had never really done that. In my previous relationships, it was always, like, something where I, like, got to know them a lot better before we did anything, like, physical. And so that and the vibes just felt a little off that day, so I was like, I'm just gonna escape a little. Could you tell that I was avoiding it?
A little bit.
Did I hurt your feelings?
No.
No?
It's fine.
Your feelings are fine.
My feelings are just okay.
Your feelings are fine.
Yes, and then she had to drive for 2 hours.
Yeah, I had to drive back to my parents' house, which was quite a bit ways away. Because the vibes were like kind of off that day, Kevin was like, oh, I actually have like a stretch of like 4 days off this week. So if you want me to come and visit you, like I totally could. So all that happens. And I was like, no, like you must be busy with your rotations. You should just focus on that. It was a couple days later and it was the start of Kevin's 5-day stretch. stretch, for whatever reason, I like accidentally got up at 5 in the morning and I was bored and a little lonely. And I was like, okay, why don't I just text him and see like what he's doing? So I was like, okay, if he responds to this text within the next, I think I said like 5 minutes, then it'll be a sign that we should hang out.
Or just because I woke up early because I had to go to work.
But it was 5 a.m. Like there was no reason you had to get up that early.
I had to pee.
Yeah, that's what you told me. You told me you had to pee, but I was like, hi. And then he responded.
Yo.
Immediately. Literally immediately. And I took it as a sign.
Was this on Facebook Messenger?
It was?
Right? No?
No, it was on text.
I don't think so. I had green text then.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure it was Facebook Messenger.
So yeah, I decided to let Kevin come over. What method of transportation did you use to reach me?
Why does it sound so formal? I had to take a megabus. It's $10.
Can you explain the megabus for those who are not familiar?
It's like a low-cost, long-distance bus. Took like an hour and a half. So I had to take it from the city. So I had to take a bus to the bus, or I could walk a mile and a half to the bus, and then I had to wait for the bus. And then I had to take this bus, and there was often traffic. And then Miki still had to drive 15, 20 minutes to pick me up from this bus stop.
And the bus stops are always in the
sketchy,
most sketchy areas of
like
town.
Union Station type.
Yeah, that kind of vibe. And so you like came in a little like duffel or backpack or something, and then you showed up downtown, and I had to pick you up downtown in the sketchy part of town, and then it was another 30-minute drive to where I lived.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of traffic that first time. No, it took like 45 minutes, remember? No, you were running very, very late. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
I was like, my bus was running maybe on time, and it was like maybe 5 or 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit later because I left after like working that day.
Yeah.
And then I arrived there, and she's like, oh, sorry, I'm running very, very late. I'm like, how late? And you were like, there's a lot of traffic.
There really was a lot of traffic.
And so I walked like 10, 15 minutes to like this not farmer's market. There's like some bougie coffee store.
Yes.
And so I sat there, and we actually had brunch there like months later.
Yeah, it was very nice.
It was very nice. But I waited there for like half an hour for Miki to come pick me up. It took us a really long time to get back to your place.
Yeah. So then we ended up back at my place.
We went to get In-N-Out probably, most likely.
Yes, we definitely went to go get In-N-Out. And those couple of days were really fun. Like, I feel like we really got to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
Miki made me go on runs with her because she loved running, and it was like 85 to 90 degrees outside. I was in decent shape then, but I like don't know how to run. It was like terrifying. I was like chasing after her like emotionally and physically.
You didn't enjoy the runs?
Just very like hot, and it was okay.
I never realized you didn't like running because you never said anything about it until recently.
After we ran the half marathon?
Yeah, after we ran the half marathon.
I mean, it's okay, but
I really liked those runs. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, you were just like way out in front of me, and then the AirPod would like die, or you would like do this passive aggressive thing where Miki knows that I'm going too slow, and she'll like just run backwards sometimes, and
or
then
I'll make a whole loop and
loop.
come back.
Yeah, and so this was still before COVID was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the megabus quite a few times to visit you and
right.
back. Sometimes they were like $15 each way though. They're pretty expensive.
That's pricey. I never reimbursed you for those.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
And then COVID started, and then Miki was like, maybe you should just drive my car.
Well, actually, my mom suggested it because
Yeah.
I told my mom that you were coming over and stuff to visit me. And she was like, COVID is a thing now. Like, do you really want him taking a bus with all these people for both of your safety? You should probably not do that. But you didn't have a car. And at the time, my car was brand spanking new. Like, I feel like she had less than 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Like, she was literally brand new. And I really didn't think twice about it. I was like, yeah, Kevin, why don't you just drive my car? Because you had a parking spot at your apartment.
I had a garage.
Yeah, you had a
but
garage.
I didn't have anything in the garage.
Yeah.
Did you trust me?
I didn't think too much about it, and I also wasn't too aware of your driving skills at the time.
I'm pretty safe.
Yeah, you drive very slowly.
But I hadn't driven for I don't drive for an hour and a half at a time often, so.
I don't know. I didn't think too much about it. I was like, okay.
If he crashes it, he'll owe me.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the way that I'm looking back at Google Photos and remembering, we had a very good Valentine's Day together, right? Came to visit you for that.
So when do you think we define the relationship and stuff?
I invited you. This is also still pretty early. Wow, look how Botoxed up your face looks.
Yeah, it was pretty Botoxed up. You're right.
So I invited you to my school prom. Is prom the right word?
Yeah, your med school prom.
My med school prom. When was that? That was, I think,
end of February.
February 22nd, 2020.
So I drove to go visit you in your city. Yeah. And then we also went to your prom. That was in SF. So then I visited your apartment for the first time because before this, it was always you coming to see me. So I went to go see you, and it's obviously very expensive because it's the Bay Area. So you lived with two other guys, who had...
Two tech bros.
Yeah, they each had their own rooms. And then Kevin had this area that was kind of like a loft.
It was like an open big loft, but I partitioned part of it off.
Yeah, he partitioned it with a curtain. And
there was two large IKEA Pax wardrobes that I got off. Dude, I can't believe I got those for like $100 off of some dude on Craigslist. And I rented a giant U-Haul to pick it up. And they had those nice glass doors. And then I put a bunch of holes on the ceiling and they charged me after I moved out.
Yeah, never forget that story.
Yes, but there was a curtain. There was like a blackout curtain on two sides.
Yeah, it was like on a little rod thing and it go... meow.
I had way more closet space back then than I do now, just to let you know.
Anyways, so Kevin's living in a little curtain situation. And it reminded me a lot of like college days, which med school is very similar to college days, I would say. Like that's kind of like,
I paid $1,100 for rent for that.
That's really good for where you lived.
Yeah. And the location was relatively convenient. But we had a pretty big space. Like we had like a really large living open space area, and we had a nice view.
It was just kind of dirty because it's just three bros living together.
Yeah, and it was kind of in like the industrial area. There's just like a lot of dust.
But I will say your part of the room was pretty clean.
Yeah, that's because I lived there.
But did you clean up before I came, to be honest?
I didn't have time.
Oh, you didn't have time. BS.
No, I'm not like the tidiest person, but I won't let things get like too dirty. But I don't think I would clean it to like 100%.
I think you definitely cleaned before I came because like your desk was completely clean. Like everything was clean.
I definitely cleaned the bathroom though.
It was still kind of gross.
Yes, I agree. The bathroom is kind of gross when three guys are sharing a bathroom.
Also, you had this faucet that like was so
she like Miki was like taking a shower and she like was in there for a good like 10 minutes and then I think she gave up.
It was impossible to turn on. It was a kind, I was trying to shower, but it was a kind where obviously it comes out of the faucet first, and there was no way to trigger it to
There's
get
no
the
button
shower.
or anything. It's attached to the end of the faucet, and you have to pull down on the part where the water comes out.
I considered just washing myself from the part of the water that came out of the faucet. But that day, we ended up doing a little tour. We went to SF. You took me to eat like egg puffs and some of my favorite foods, right?
And then my favorite restaurant, the House of Pancakes, the super cheap Chinese like small eats home style restaurant.
And then that night we went to prom together. So Kevin is a couple years older than me. And this prom that was hosted had all sorts of different medical people. It wasn't just medical students. There was also like
pharmacists, dentists, and physical, like all the professional. And you met some of my med school friends, which was also, it was fine.
Yeah, so that was the first time I met Kevin's med school friends because your other friend was not a doctor. He was an undergrad friend.
Yeah, he made the smart decision.
I have a question. So what did your friends say after meeting me?
There wasn't much. Like we only did like small talk and we didn't really do anything.
What did your first friend on the tech day, like when we went to go visit his company, what did he say about me afterwards?
He was like, oh, she's very beautiful and very nice, but you have to be careful.
Careful what?
She's like, is she trying to get something from you? Or is she like...
What would I be getting?
I don't know. You tell me. Are they suspicious that, like, why would you like someone like me? He's very protective of me.
Oh, interesting.
He knows that I get taken advantage of all the time.
You have gotten taken advantage of a couple of times.
Anyways, prom. How was prom? Did you have a good time?
I was honestly really nervous to meet your friends because first off, they're like a little bit older than me. So at the time, most of my friends were either around my same age or a bit younger than me. So I wasn't totally sure how to act. And then I was also just nervous because it was like med school. Like I'd never been to med school before. I don't know what you guys talk about or what you guys do. And I don't know, it was just like a little intimidating because you guys were all about to get your MDs and I felt inferior in that aspect.
And we left on the earlier side.
Yes.
And we took an Uber home, and Ubers then were still relatively
affordable.
Reasonable. Yeah. Anyways, there's a couple of things that I remember from early dating that were like, oh, very interesting. I don't know if you have any of those things.
Go ahead.
So like a month into dating, Miki was like, hey, there's a sale. I'm going to buy you some clothes. I'm like, oh, that's really nice of you.
There really wasn't a sale though.
Wasn't?
No, there was no sale actually. I bought them full price.
But you also bought stuff for yourself.
Yes, I think I did. I was browsing the Adidas website and I ended up getting some things for me and for Kevin.
Mickey's like, you have holes in your pants. Don't wear those. Throw that away.
Well, the second day you came over, the like Adidas soccer pants that you were wearing, which I love Adidas soccer pants, like had like a huge hole on the side. And I hope you didn't take any offense to it because I genuinely did not mean it in an offensive way. Like, you took offense to it?
A little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I just wanted to replace them for you because I was like, oh, I'm placing an order anyways. Like, why don't I get you like soccer pants that like I know that you'll like because I know you love those pants.
Felt it was very nice. Yeah. I felt it was like very nice, but I also felt a little bit I was like, oh, that's not good.
Well, I hope you know it was like never my intention to like not make you feel good. That wasn't the only thing I got you. Yeah, so I got you a couple of things. So I didn't want you to think that it was like specifically from the hole. But I got you another pair of like Adidas track pants that I really liked because it had like some Japanese on it. And I know that you and I both grew up in Japan. So I was like, oh, maybe he would appreciate this.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You didn't like it?
It was nice. No one's ever done anything like that for me. Other things that I appreciated. Wow, this is turning into like an appreciation thing. So graduation for me was over Zoom. Mm-hmm. And then Mickey's like, you have to do a photo shoot, like graduation. I'm like, not good at taking photos. Like in the past, I was just like, hey, here's my diploma. Take a photo, get done. Then she's like, let's go to the balloon store and let's buy balloons.
Yes.
Get an M&D and just get a bunch of balloons. Let's go take some pictures. And then she had the secret ulterior motive to make TikToks.
It wasn't a secret.
But it was nice, like, you know, like the photo shoot and doing that stuff. Like I never had done that before.
Like a celebration?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we did a proper celebration because I was like, you just finished 4 years of medical school. We're not going to just not celebrate because of COVID. So we got a cake, like we got the balloons, we celebrated. I think we like even got some champagne or something and just like drank them out of our...
We got rosé.
Oh, rosé. Sorry. And drank them out of like I didn't have like champagne glasses, so we just used like regular cups. But it was a nice proper celebration. Yeah. And I feel sad that for the class of 2020, I feel like that experience was completely robbed and you can't recreate that, right? Yeah. Even for the people who walk the following year or something like.
Yeah, I mean, I just had the graduation on one screen, my parents on Zoom on FaceTime on the other screen, and we were sitting on that couch. It's the first time that you FaceTimed my parents too. And then the next day, I think we visited your parents.
Something like that. When do you think we like actually started dating is the question. Do we even know?
I think after like Valentine's Day.
The issue was that we're like dating and stuff, but match day was March 20th.
Wow, to the day.
And we weren't sure where Kevin was going to end up. There was East Coast, there was West Coast, there was Seattle. And I told you, if it's the East Coast, I can't go with you because 1, I'm scared of the cold. 2, it's too far from my family. And like, I just would not be able to go with you. Like, I would wish you well, but I couldn't go.
And maybe I'll stay with you for here and there.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I can come visit you and stuff. California, I was like, yes, I will move with you. Doesn't matter where in California. I can go with you. Yeah. Or not move at all. And then Seattle actually was a place where I was like, I don't know if I would go because it's cold and kind of far and gloomy, but it's still on the West Coast. So
same time zone.
Yeah. But Kevin reassured me that like it would be
less likely.
So
you didn't think about it too much.
I didn't think about it too much. Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, we'll just date and then we'll figure it out as time goes on. Long story short, Kevin gets the news that he needs to move to Seattle.
Well, I think we talked about it for a couple days.
Yeah.
Since I think I had the couple weeks off then.
Well, we decided that like if we ever wanted to continue the relationship, I would have to move with you because we can't be long distance for 6 years.
Yeah. And the pretense was that if it's not working out, then you can always move back.
And you never like forced me to move with you or anything. It was a voluntary decision.
I found an apartment pretty quickly that I could afford myself. And you also found a job pretty quickly.
Yes. So I applied to one singular job in Seattle, and after 3 interviews, I was offered that job almost immediately, like a week after. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm young, I'm healthy. Like, what better time to try out a new city
and it
than
was
now?
like in a specialty where you liked, and it was a way for you to transition from your inpatient to your outpatient job.
Yes.
So you were very excited.
I was very excited.
You're still working at this job now.
I still am working at this job now.
We actually have the same work anniversary start date.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
Remember we went to work the same day?
Yeah.
Except you left before me.
No.
Because I was still on orientation.
Oh,
and it was Zoom.
Yeah, so I decided to move with you. Were you shocked that I decided to move with you? Or not really?
I don't know. Everything was a fairy tale. Today was a fairy tale.
So you weren't a surprise?
I was, but I think so I was done with med school in the early May. I mean, even after we made the decision to move together, we still had a month and a half where I didn't have to do anything and we were able to spend a lot of time together, right? Mm-hmm. So
we knew we were compatible as human beings, and we knew we were compatible living together. Like, there was a lot of logic that went into the decision. I would like to say it's actually like very little. Obviously, the heart needs to be in for it to work, but a lot of it was very logical, right? Like, all the pieces made sense. We made sure that there were no major red flags for you or for me.
And lucky like me.
When did you realize that you loved me?
Why are you asking me these deep questions?
Why don't you want to answer them?
It's like a slow... there's not like one moment sometime between Valentine's Day and Match Day.
Wow, you love me that fast?
You didn't love me then?
I did. I'm just curious what your answer
Well,
is.
the first time Miki said anything, she was just like, instead of I love you, it was like, love ya.
Yeah, with a Y-A. Love ya.
I was like, what?
And then you were like, love is a strong word. You shouldn't just say it like that. I guess I moved to Seattle, and it was worst case scenario. I just moved back, right? Because we didn't put you in a situation where you wouldn't be able to do it on your own. But best case scenario, we stay here together, and we have done that, right? For the last 3 years. So it's been 3.5-ish years since we've been together.
Not 3.5. Oh.
We have no idea when we started is the issue.
Yeah, I mean, 3, almost, yeah. But we've been in Seattle for a little over 3 years because I'm more than halfway done.
But I think the important thing is just that, like, overall, like, we have a really good time with each other, and a relationship requires a ton of compromise on both ends, right? Mm-hmm. And if you want to make it work, like, you have to learn.
You can't make too many compromises, right? Like, you can't choose someone where you have to, like, compromise everything.
Yeah, I mean, they should fit all your basic requirements and boxes. I know it's hard to control your feelings, but if you can think about it objectively before you start to develop those feelings, I think it helps tremendously. And also, we were both looking for a serious relationship. Like, neither of us were looking to just date. Actually, questionable. Questionable.
You want to have been looking for fun, right?
I'm a serial monogamist, though. Like, I had been dating only seriously.
Anyways.
Were you dating a lot before you met me?
No. What do you mean date? What do you mean by dating?
How many people were you dating before you?
Like, none. I was busy with school.
You didn't seem that busy.
After that was the end of fourth year. Anyways, it seems like they should make a K-drama out of our early dating. Do you think that would be a...
Vote in the comments or vote in the polls whether we should read our early DMs. We can spill some more tea next time if we want.
Who should play me and Miki in a K-drama? Pick who would play me.
Yes. Go ahead and do that. Okay. And that's it for today's episode. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.